In this nitty-gritty basics Let's Play live stream, we're going to be playing American Mah Jongg at I Love Mahj. The reason why I like to play at I Love Mahj for these nitty-gritty basic Let's Play live streams is because they have the ability to play with robots with different levels of intelligence. So you can play with robots who are also at a beginner level if you're a beginner. And if you're an intermediate player, you can play with intermediate robots. And if you're an experienced player, you can play with the level 3 bots, experienced bots. So that's a really nice feature. The other features that I enjoy at I Love Mahj are the exercise room. And we're going to be spending some time in there. But we'll also do some gameplay with commentary with robots. And of course, you can play with friends. If you want to try playing there yet and you haven't done so yet, you can get a 3-week trial if you use MAHJLIFE when you sign up. And also, I just want to say that I am an affiliate partner. So if you decide to purchase a subscription, I will get a small commission. And if you decide to do that, I appreciate your support. I want to also say thank you so much for watching my videos and for subscribing to my channel if you've already done that. And if you haven't, please consider subscribing. Make sure you click the little gray bell so you get notifications for when I go live or when I upload a new video. I also want to say thank you to moderators. I don't know if we'll have any here today. Their names will have a little wrench by them. So I just want to say thank you so much for helping moderate the chat. Let's get into the topic today, which is how to pick a hand. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to jump into how to pick a hand. All right. So we have some chickens in here. We have the middle chicken who's going, ah! If that is you, I'm hoping that what I share will help. We also have the chin dab. This would be someone who maybe has a little more confidence playing the game. And if that is you, I'm hoping that I can share a little bit of additional skills and strategies that you can use to help you get to the Kawabunga stage where you're ready to unleash your skills and strategies at the table. And that would be the chicken on the right. Okay, so here we go. Hi, Evelyn. Thanks for coming. Okay, so how to pick a hand. When you play this game, you're given the National Mah Jongg League card. If you're playing American Mah Jongg, which that's what we're doing here today, we're playing American Mah Jongg. And with this particular version of the game, every player has a card with valid hands for the given year. And because there are specific hands that you have to make your tiles match to, you can't win unless you're playing one of those valid hands. There's that urge inside to pick a hand. And that's okay if you do that. That's what I call a fixed style of play. So you look at the card, you look at your tiles, and you say, okay, with these tiles, I could maybe play such and such hand. And then you focus on that hand as you go through the Charleston, and then you move into the rest of the game after each discards, and you pick one tile at a time. This would be called a fixed style of play. And that's fine and good, but there's a better way to play. There's actually a good, better, best. And that's what I want to share today. It's best to play with an adaptive style of play. And what that means is that instead of picking a hand from your dealt hand, you're going to choose a category to focus on. So whatever tiles are in your hand, you're going to identify the strength, whether that be starting with a multiple, pair pung kong. If you happen to have one of those in your hand, that would be the best way to do it, because American Mah Jongg is a game of multiples, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. So you're going to identify the strength of the hand. Maybe you have a lot of evens or a lot of odds. Maybe you have primarily winds and dragons. So you're going to focus on one of the categories on the card that will use most of your tiles. and then you're going to gather tiles for that category, but you're not going to pick a hand until you run out of discards. That is an adaptive style of play. And in my opinion, that is the best way to play this game. You don't have to pick a hand until you run out of discards, or until you get to a point where you have to whittle down your options for whatever category you're focused on, so that you could either free up tiles to continue passing, or if you're in the pick and discard phase of the game, you can make a decision on making an exposure with a discarded tile, which of course, with every exposure, you're going to be further committed to a particular hand. So at some points in the game, you do have to make a decision, but you do not have to pick a hand right away. So if you fight that urge and learn to play at what I call the category level, where you're gathering for the chosen category until you run out of discards, then and only then is when you would need to pick a hand. On a rare occasion, you may have tiles that point to a specific hand, and that's okay too. All right, so there is a hybrid approach, and this is where you can, let's say you would get your dealt hand and identify the strength of the hand and choose a category to play. And then at the end of the Charleston, you pick a hand so that you're not focused, or you don't have a, let's say that you perform better with a laser focus. Maybe at the end of the Charleston, you play adaptive until that point, and then you pick a hand and focus thereafter on that one hand. So there is this hybrid approach that can help depending on a player's personality. So try each of these out the next time you play. Pick a hand from the beginning and see what happens. And then play at the category level and pick a hand after the Charleston. See what happens. Document your results each time. And then play the adaptive style where you just pick a category. Gather tiles for the category, and don't pick a hand until you run out of discards, or until you get to that point where you have to make a choice at the hand level, and compare results for each of the three. It'll be very interesting, I think, for you to see the results. And typically with an adaptive style of play, there's a lot more freedom there. There's a lot more wiggle room, and you can make corrective action. You can course correct if things go maybe in a different direction that you had anticipated with whatever way that you've chosen, whether you picked a hand or a category. Maybe tiles are being discarded that you could potentially have used, or maybe people are making exposures with tiles that you need. So by playing an adaptive style, you can do these course corrections. Whereas if you pick a hand and then call discards to commit yourself in with that one particular hand, you could be painting yourself into a corner. So we're going to play at I Love Mahj, and we're going to play 3 hands with robots after we do some initial exercises, and we're going to compare results by playing a hand with a fixed approach, and then we'll do a hybrid approach, and then we'll do an adaptive approach, and then we'll just kind of document that and compare results and just talk about it. So let's now dig into why this works. So the idea for playing with an adaptive style of play is that you optimize your potential, because you're not committing, you're not painting yourself into a corner already. You're giving yourself lots of wiggle room. So when you get your dealt hand, look for multiples. If you have multiples, it's best to start there, because American Mah Jongg is a game of multiples. Every hand on the card uses some sorry, hold on. Riley is, doggone it, I don't know what he is. No, stop. Sorry about that. Okay, so no matter what hand you're going to play, you're going to have combinations of pair pung kong. Now, if you're playing a singles and pair hand, you're going to have pairs and singles, but the rest of the card uses mostly pairs, pungs, kongs, and a smattering of singles in there as well. But if you target multiples, you're going to basically, you're beginning with the end in mind, because eventually you're going to need them. So if you leverage multiples, you're going to optimize your potential to complete a hand quickly. So let's look at this particular example. We have 2 dot, 3 dot pair, 4, 5, 6, and a 5 dot pair. So 3, 5 paired up. Then we have a 1 bam pair with a 9 and a 3 crack. Single white dragon, single north. And then, so you're going to look at your multiples. So here we have multiples of 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. So you could play little odds, for example. Let me just text my husband here, because Riley is going to be a handful. Okay, so let's see. All right, 1, 3, 5, little odds. We could potentially do that with these tiles, but there are options in here as well. So let's see, here's the multiples: 3 dot pair, 5 dot pair, and a 1 bam pair. 3 pair in this dealt hand, and this incidentally is an actual dealt hand. So we could maybe play little odds, 1, 3, 5 of some kind, and I would not pick a hand. This is an example of where you don't even need to look at the card. We know we've got multiples of 1, 3, 5, and 1, 3, 5 are little odd numbered tiles. There are several hands that we could play, but we're not going to look at the hands because we have too many discards to really make sense with at this early stage of the game. So the idea with playing an adaptive style is that you're going to identify discards, and you're in the Charleston phase of the game, you're going to pass as defensively as you can, and then gather tiles that can be used in whatever category we're playing. So in this case, we're going to focus on little odds. So we're going to collect 1, 3, 5. And if we so happen to be blessed with flowers, we might keep them. Same thing with dragons, because if you look at the card, there is at least 2 hands here with dragons. And that's as deep as you need to go. You don't need to know what the combinations are, what the shapes are, or anything like that, because we still don't have enough to really go by. I would just gather. You just gather at the category level. And then when you run out of discards, that's when you look at what you have in your hand and you find a combination on the card that can use most of your tiles. So in this case, we could maybe pass, let's say, let's see here, not a north with a 9 bam and maybe the, let's see, I might even pass the white dragon because we have no flowers, because we could potentially play something different, which we're going to go into. So let's see what the next slide is. We have 3, 5, 1 pairs. We could even play consecutive run. So even though we have potential for little odds, 1, 3, 5, there's also potential for consecutive run. And with consecutive run, we would then have maybe a north white dragon, and then let's say the 9 bam probably would be a good discard still. So that's what I would do. I would even hold that 6, because we could do 3, 4, 5, 6. And really even you could use the dragon if we happen to pick up a flower, because there is a consecutive hand that uses flowers. So when you're looking at your options, we could play either little odds or we could play consecutive run. So you want to maybe glance at the hands that are there to see what kind of tiles you might need. Could you maybe use flowers, or could you maybe use dragons, just at a very high level and only briefly, because you don't want to spend time analyzing at the hand level when you get a pass in that could put you on a whole different path. So stay flexible, stay at the category level. All right, let's see. Any questions so far? All right, no questions so far. All right, so here, when you get your dealt hand, look for multiples and pick 1 or 2 categories that can use the multiples with as many tiles that remain as possible. So we're in between in this particular hand, little odds or consecutive run. So here's another example. Oh my gosh, ow. Sorry, my earring just poked my head. Okay, so, okay. If you don't have multiples, let's talk about that situation because it does happen. Sometimes you'll get a hand like this. I call this a wide spread. Basically, you have all single tiles. So you might think to yourself, well, now what am I going to do with these tiles? I have nothing in here. But that's not true. You will always have something to work with, always. So what you're going to do is you're going to look for the predominant pattern, which will be one of the categories on the card. Which category will use most of your tiles? So if we look at these tiles, we can see that we have 2 3s, 2 4s, we have 2 6s and 2 9s. So we could potentially play consecutive run 3 4 5 6, or we could play maybe 3 6 9 because we've got like numbers in here with 3s, 6s, and 9s. So we could potentially play 3 6 9, and that would leave 3 tiles that we could pass. There's even an extra 4 in there. So we could pass north with a 4 bam and a 5 crack and focus on 3 6 9, and that would use most of our tiles. But there's another way that we could go, and that would be consecutive run. And the nice thing about consecutive run is that you have tile efficiency. You can go up or down a range. So if we focus on 3 4 5 6 and we pick up 7s, we could do 4 5 6 7. Or if we pick 2, get 2s, we could do 2 3 4 5. So there's a lot more wiggle room with consecutive run. That is one of the reasons why consecutive run is such a powerful category. So we're in between. If we played consecutive run, we would be discarding probably the north with one of the 9s. I would not pass like numbers. To me, that's almost as risky as passing a pair. So I typically don't do that. Instead, I would probably pass a white dragon with a 9 and then keep 3 4 5 6. When a multiple forms, that is when you're going to reassess the whole, just basically wipe all your options out, target the multiple, and then gather tiles that can support the multiple and play a category that uses most of your tiles. That is the key. Targeting multiples. You might wonder why. Well, why does this matter? Does this really make a difference in the outcome? Yes, it does. It absolutely does. And here's why. Let me just catch up on chat real quick and see if I've missed any questions. I don't see any questions at the moment. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, no questions. All right, here we go. So let's talk about attributes. Attributes of hands on the card. So if you look at the card, just at a very high level, there are 59 hands, or 84% of the hands on the card use pairs, pungs, kongs. Multiples. That's what I call multiples. Also, pairs. Little multiples, just pairs, 61%. So between those two, that is just a significant attribute that supports the theory of targeting multiples. If you look at a dealt hand and you have a multiple, start there. Let that be the driver. And then as multiples form and as they build, the bigger they are, the more strength that you're going to have using them. So you want to leverage multiples, leverage the most of your multiples. If you have several, sometimes they won't go together, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to talk through that. So the main idea here is to target multiples. This is one of the big differentiators in the American Mah Jongg game. Focus on multiples. That's the bottom line. Also, when you are looking at your tiles, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And to some people, one suit hands are attractive. They are pretty, that is for sure. However, 19 hands on the card are in one suit. That's only 27% of the hands. Compared to mixed suits, sorry, my screen got away with me here, 48 hands using mixed suits, 69%. So 27% in one suit, 69% in mixed suits. So there are far more options in mixed suits. So what you want to think about when you're gathering tiles for whatever category you're playing or focusing on, gather tiles no matter what the suit is. Try not to be distracted by just one suit, because there are far more hands on the card in mixed suits. Still focus on multiples and gather tiles that can be used in the category regardless of suit. Any questions so far? All right, so let's talk about 3 tactics that can help you to optimize your potential. You want to, during the Charleston especially, you want to make the best decisions you can with the tiles that you get during the Charleston, because this is the time when you're going to expedite hand development. You're going to get up to, let's see, 3 passes right across left. So then you're going to do maybe the second Charleston left across right. So that's 6 passes of 3 tiles. So that's 27 tiles that you're going to be seeing that could potentially be held to help you create a hand on the card eventually. So you want to leverage all those tiles that are coming through, because after East discards, you're going to go down to 1 pick at a time, 1 tile at a time. So pick by pick, you'll still be able to develop your hand, but the major development of a hand, where the transformation happens, is during the Charleston. That's why it's such a critical phase of the game. So we're going to talk about 3 tactics that you can use to help you with hand development. The first one is optimize. This is when you're going to leverage efficiency. You're going to make it as efficient and effective as possible. Optimize. And the way that you optimize is by targeting multiples, because American Mah Jongg is a game of multiples. Remember the slide? 89% of the hands on the card use pung, pair pung, or pung kong quint. And then 69% have pairs in them too. So with the mixture of all that, every hand on the card uses some combination of multiples. So you want to optimize that by targeting the multiple. That would be optimizing. So target multiples. Optimize by targeting multiples. That's the first tactic. Okay, so then the second tactic is to maximize. Maximizing would be to use most of your hand, most of the tiles in your hand. If you don't have multiples, this is a great tactic because you need a direction. And the best way to start when you have no multiples is to find a category that uses most of your tiles. That is called maximizing. That is the maximize tactic. So here's an example of a 3-6-9 hand. We could play 3-6-9. That would use most of our tiles. Let's see. So the issue, or not the issue, but the disclaimer, or not the disclaimer, the I suppose the caution or what you want to look out for is if a multiple forms. Because if you start out with just most of your tiles being for one of the categories on the card, you're going to maximize. When a multiple forms, you should reassess completely, target the multiple, and then reselect the category that will use most of the tiles supporting the multiple. That would be ideal because eventually you're going to need multiples. The last tactic is called streamlining. Streamlining would be where you're going to focus on the consecutive run category because you can go up or down a range of up to 9 tiles. Now, most of the hands in consecutive run are between 1 and 5 numbers. It's going to be a different combination because there are a couple of hands. Let me see, 1, 2, 2 hands span 1 through 5. The first one has 2 options, 1 through 5, the other 5 through 9, same line, 5 numbers in a range. And then the fourth hand down has 5 numbers in mixed suits. Single pair pung kong kong, 1 2 3 4 5, single pair pung kong kong, fourth hand down. Otherwise, all the other hands are between 2, 3, and 4 numbers in a range. So when you're looking at consecutive run, you can streamline your decision making. You can streamline the process, and because of that efficiency with the tiles, that's why this is a really powerful tactic, and why consecutive run is the most powerful category on the card, because you have so many options with 3 suits numbered 1 through 9. That's a lot of flexibility, especially when you consider that, what was it, was it 69% of the hands? Let me see, mixed suit. Now I want to go back to where the mixed suit is. Mixed suits, 69%. I was right. Okay. 69% of the hands on the card are in mixed suits. So if you consider 3 suits numbered with numbered tiles 1 through 9, that's a lot of flexibility. And this is why consecutive run is such a powerful category, which would be this particular example here. So let me just show you a couple of reasons why consecutive run is so powerful. In this category, you have 11 hands, but there are more consecutive run hands throughout the card, not just in that category. There are consecutive run hands in Winds and Dragons. Even in singles and pairs, there are 2 hands down there that use consecutive run. This year, 2, 3, or this year's card anyway, 2, 3, those are consecutive numbers. And then we have addition with a couple of consecutive, or the first consecutive hand, 1, 1, 2. That's a little bit of a run there. And even in quints, you have 2 hands that are consecutive. So consecutive run is all over the card. It's not just the one category with 11 hands. So it's a very powerful category. And there's no shame in playing consecutive run often, because it is so powerful. Try to play throughout the card though, otherwise it could get a little boring only playing consecutive run. But keep in mind that if your tiles are pointing in that direction, you can have a really easy time developing a hand in consecutive run because of the incredible use of tiles, the amount of tiles and the number of suits that you have to work with. It's just got a lot of built-in flexibility. One of the exciting things about these 3 tactics is that you can stack them in what I call a power play. Use all 3 for the same hand. Optimize, target multiples, maximize, gather tiles to support the multiple, and play a category that will use most of your tiles. And if you can, streamline by playing in consecutive run. That would be a power play. If you use all 3 of those tactics, you're going to optimize your potential to win. All right, we're going to play at I Love Mahj and demonstrate both how to pick a hand between fixed, hybrid, and adaptive. And then we're also going to use those tactics. optimize, maximize, and streamline. And we'll talk through it, and hopefully it'll all get pulled together so you can see it in action. Does anybody have any questions about what I shared? Let's see. I'm going to go to I Love Mahj. Where did it go? Hold on one second. Let me close my presentation here. Okay, here we go. So here's I Love Mahj. I don't see any questions. Does anybody have any questions? Because I'd be happy to answer questions if anybody saw something in the presentation that maybe they're questioning. If not, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so here's I Love Mahj. I'll make the screen a little bit bigger so you can see the where we're going to be going here. Okay, Kristen's asking, does that bar change much when the card changes? Yes, it will definitely change, especially because the year 2024 is not going to be consecutive. But what's going to happen with 2024 is there's going to be a hit on evens because 2024 uses evens. So with the year category and evens together, depending on what the league does with addition, that is what's going to really change the dynamic of the game. So I always look at year and how that impacts the rest of the card, and also addition. The addition hands typically make a big impact, kind of a ripple effect. Those two categories, the year and then addition. And just because of the decade we're in, twos are going to be predominant. It's just, you know, based on the way our calendar works, we're going to be leveraging those numbers. So there are 2 twos this decade. Okay, let's see. We don't know what the league is going to do. We never know. Even though this is the year of the dragon, we still don't know what they're going to do with dragons. So I would not expect that. There's just no way to know what the league is going to do. All right, let's talk about how to play at I Love Mahj. So when you first join and you go to play and then the game launchpad, the first area is where you play with robots and friends, people online, and we're going to play there in a little bit. But what I want to show you here is the exercise room, and there are several exercises that you can do. Make a hand. That's where you're able to look at the card and use the tiles to create hands on the card. I like to do this with my hands-on tiles too, but if you don't have a set at home, doing this online at I Love Mahj is a wonderful exercise. We're going to focus on Charleston practice today. So we're going to use Charleston practice, and here we're going to do the fixed versus adaptive style of play, and we're going to do two Charlestons. Actually, we'll do 3. We'll do, well, no, because the hybrid approach we'll do when we play with robots. So we'll do 2 rounds of the Charleston practice with the same tiles. The first one, we're going to do a fixed style of play, and then we're going to look at the results, and then we're going to do an adaptive style of play and compare them and just see how we end up. So let's see how this goes. So we have in here 3 flowers. So that's going to be the driver for this. That is this pung of flowers right here. This is our only multiple. The rest of our tiles are all singles. So what I would do here is look for the predominant pattern with the number tiles primarily. With only 1 wind, that's going to be the first thing I'd let go of. Without any other wins, it's not helpful at all. So I would let that go and focus on number tiles. We may or may not be able to use the dragons. We have 3 flowers. So one of the things that you could look at is what category on the card uses 4 flowers. And there are several. We've got a 4-flower hand in the year, but we have no 2s. So I wouldn't even consider that category. We also have a 4-flower hand under 2, 4, 6, 8, but we have no 6s or 8s. So I wouldn't play that category either. We have 4 flowers in like numbers. Now here we do have some like number potential. We have 4s and we have 7s. So we could maybe play like numbers with 4s or 7s. And there are 2 options there with dragons and without. So I would hold the dragons. Here we would then be left with 3 tiles that we could pass. Now there is another potential way that we could go, and that would be maybe with a quint. There's 4 flowers in the 3rd quint. But we really don't have any other large multiples with the number tiles. So I probably, even though we have a joker, I wouldn't play a quint in this case. I'd let it go. If we had multiples in here with number tiles, I probably would consider that 3rd quint. But because we don't, that's going to be a long shot. I'd rather play more of a sure thing. So looking down at the second hand from the bottom under consecutive run, we could potentially play, let's say, maybe 5, 6, 7, 7, but we don't have the right 5. 5, 6, pair with pungs of 7s. We don't have the right 5 or the right 7. So I probably wouldn't even think about that actually. So I wouldn't think about playing in consecutive runs. So you want to use a systematic approach and quickly look at where are the 4-flower hands. So under odds, we have 1, 3, 5, 5. We have no 1s. Under wins and dragons, we have 1 hand with wins. I wouldn't focus on that with only 1 wind in the hand. And then under 3, 6, 9, we have no 9s. So the best option is with like numbers. That will use most of our numbers. Even though we still have gap, we have no 4 dot and we have no 7 band, but that's where I would start, where you can use most of your tiles, even if you have gaps. So in this case, let's go ahead and with this particular effort, this exercise, let's pick like numbers. We're going to play a like number hand and we're going to stick with it. And then we'll look at our results after the Charleston. So let's pass the 8 with a 3 and let's see if we can get either 4s or 7s. We did pick up a green dragon, but we already have a green dragon. If we're playing like numbers, we're not going to keep it. So we have 5s in here though now. So if we're going to play some kind of like number hand, we have to just arbitrarily pick something to let go of. So I probably would let a 7 go because with 4, 5, thinking adaptively, we could maybe switch. But in this exercise, we're going to focus on like numbers. So 4s or 5s. So here we have our first multiple. So this is where you would reassess and target the multiple. So now we have the 4 and we're focused on this exercise with like numbers. So we're going to hold the dragons and then we're going to break all the rest up. So let's pass 7 with a 5 and then maybe the 3, 1 of each suit. And we're gathering 4s. We didn't get any 4s. We're going to keep going. So let's pass north with a 7 and let's say a 2. Okay, here we have a multiple now with a 5, but we have tiles we can pass. No, we didn't get any more 4s. Really, we could do 4s or 5s. Let's pass then this red dragon and we'll focus on either 4s or 5s. So we didn't get any keepers here and we're going to pass 3. We might be able to make that better. Okay, so we ended up with options with either like numbers with 4s or like numbers with 5s, and we have 4 discards. So technically, we have 7 discards because we're not going to be able to keep both of these options. We're going to have to pick one eventually. So when the game goes into the pick and discard phase of the game, we're either going to target the 4s or the 5s, and then we'll just let the rest go. So we ended up with a hand like numbers number 1. We've got gaps, and we do have multiples to choose from, but we have 7 discards. And we might even say that we have what's called joker bait, where we might be able to use this unwanted pair, whichever way we go, and try to get a joker in our hand. So let's say then that we have 5 discards with joker bait. So like, for example, let's say we get another 4, and then we focus on 4s. So we'll just kind of pull those off to the side to separate the hand from keepers. So there's the keepers to the left of the joker, and we have all the discards to the right. We would have 5 discards with joker bait, the pair of 5 cracks. So I would say we would be a clear underdog there. If you have more than 4 discards, you're going to likely be an underdog for the game, and you're going to need to take a low risk approach as you continue to develop your hand until it's at a place where you have more strength, and then you can maybe become more of a contender. If you have 4 discards after the Charleston, you would be a contender. If you have less than 4 discards and you were able to develop one particular hand, you could say that you're a front runner for that game. And it's not going to be a guarantee, because you never know where your opponents are going to be. They could be front runners too, and they could even be ahead of you as a front runner. So you want to keep those things in mind. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to play an adaptive style of play and then compare results. So we're going to play with the same tiles, and this time we're going to play adaptive. So here we have 4 flowers, and I would still stick with like numbers because we're playing with the same tiles. So 7s. So let's throw north with a 3 and an 8. I think that's what we did last time. Okay, and we picked up 5. So now we have 5s here. 4, 5, 4, 5 flowers, but here's green dragons right there, green dragons. Maybe we could do 4, 5 with green dragons. Now we only need 1 pair for that hand, third hand down under consecutive run. Let's let the dragon go with a 9, and then let's maybe pass a 4. 9 and 4 together is not very risky. A 5 with a 9 could be a little more risky because of big odds. Same thing with the 7 and a 9. And also it's only 1 number apart. So if somebody has an 8, they'll be able to use a 7 and a 9 with their 8. So you want to mitigate your risk in your passing. All right, now this time we have a 5 crack pair. So I would reassess. Because here's a 5 crack pair now. So let's see, we have a green dragon pair there, a 5 crack pair. Probably not going to be able to use those together unless, of course, we go back to 4, 5 dragon. But we do have tiles to pass, so I wouldn't pick a hand. We're going to stay adaptive and continue to gather. You know what? We actually have a hand in here with no gaps. 3, 4, 5 mixed suit Kongs. 3, 4, 5 mixed suit Kongs. With the 5 crack, I think I would let the dragon go. Maybe mix this up like that with a 7 dot. 2 crack dragons, 9 or 7 dot. And this would allow us to use a pair of flowers and the pair of 5s. Okay, so now here we do have some big odds in here. Here's some 7, 8, 9. Our multiple is with the 5. 5 crack, 5, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. We do have some big odd potential there. 5, 7, 9 of some kind. We're going to keep going. We have 2 tiles to pass. Now we have to let something go. Since we have the flowers. We could maybe play 5, 7, 9 mixed suit Kong's third hand down on the right. Let's let the 5 bam go, because we could do 5 cracks, 7 bam, 9 dot pair flower, third hand down on the right. So we're in between consecutive run and odds, so we have lots of options. We picked up a 4 crack, and now we have 4, 5 dragon in here. The 1 can go for sure. 5 crack pair, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. Since we have 2 options with consecutive run, that's what I would focus on. It's also more flexible. Remember the stats on consecutive run, and also considering streamlining, we can streamline this and leverage that flexibility of that category. All right, so we have 2 crack, 7 dot, green dragon. These are really not helpful in this particular case. All right, we have a 3 crack. So now we have 3, 4, 5 drag, or 3, 4, 5. We have a 3, 4, 5, and 2 options, 1 suit or mixed suits. Now here, I probably would not pass 2 wins. I think what I would do is give up the red dragon and pass 3. Red 7 with, let's say, a south. So we ended up with options again here. All right, we have 3 dot 4 bam pair, 3, 4, 5 crack pair with a 6 crack. So I would not pick a hand. I would still gather, but look at the difference of what we ended up with. We have 1 clear discard. We have 4 flowers. When did we end up with a flower? You know what? We could even play a quint. We could play the quint. Look. 4, 5 with 4 flowers. Third quint. I probably wouldn't do that though. I would consider it. I would say we would have several hands with no gaps in consecutive run, maybe even a quint. We have 1 clear discard. So do you see, comparing that fixed style of play, we had 7 discards or 5 with joker bait. Here we've got options in consecutive run, which means we can streamline, and we have 1 clear discard. So I hope that that gave you a good visual on the beauty and the power of playing with an adaptive style of play. Don't pick a hand, play at the category level and gather. Follow the trend. When multiples build, target the multiples and gather as many remaining tiles and play a category that will use most of your tiles. So that would be optimizing by targeting multiples, maximizing by using most of your tiles for one particular category, 1 or 2, and then also streamlining if you can for that power play. Optimize, maximize, and streamline. And stay adaptive. All right, any questions? We're going to do this. We're actually, let's see, let's go ahead and play with robots. So I'm going to go up here to play with robots. And this is where you can choose the different experience level with the robots, different levels of intelligence. So the standard would be a beginner. The intermediate would be a little more, a robot with a little more experience. And then you have advanced. We're going to play in the intermediate. We're going to play with intermediate robots. All right, so let's see what happens. We're going to do this 3 games. And the first one, we're going to play with a fixed style of play. The second game, we're going to do a hybrid. So we're going to stay flexible during the Charleston, and then we're going to pick a hand after the Charleston and stick with a hand. And then the third one, we're going to play adaptive. Okay, so I'm going to open up Notepad, and I'll just take notes so that we can compare. Actually, you know what? I think what I'm going to do is open Word. This just gave me an idea to add to the workbook. I'm creating a workbook for skills and strategies integration. And this might be another additional sheet for tracking progress. So what I'm thinking is that we're just going to kind of create this on the fly. So I'm going to create a table here. We want to do 3 different tries, and we're going to look at the onset, and then we're going to look at where we're at after the Charleston, and then we're going to track maybe at the different milestones where we're at. Let's just stop there. I'm going to do that over here. Okay, so let's see. We're going to do a fixed style of play. Then we're going to do hybrid. And then we're going to do adaptive. Okay, so I'll take notes to the side and then I'll share it with you when we're done. All right. So, and then we're going to do, let's see, 80, 70, 60, 40, and then the results. All right, here we go. So I'll track it and make notes along the way so that we can look at it together and compare the results. Okay, so here we go. We have a joker, a flower, north and south, 2, 5 and bams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, crack, pung. Okay, so I'm thinking 2, 4, 6, 8. Look at, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So we're going to pick a hand, 2, 4, 6, 8 with flowers, 2, 4, 6, 8 with flowers. So let's see here. Oops. Flower with 2, 4, 6, 8 and cracks. But we also have a north-south, a 2, 5 and bams. And then we have a 1, 3 crack. Okay, so this is, I just documented the onset here. We're going to play 2, 4, 6, 8 first hand. Maybe we could do this concealed hand too. I suppose we could even maybe do the third hand down. But if we're going to pick a hand from the beginning, let's go ahead and just pick the first hand. Consecutive run number 1. Let's break up the north and then pass, let's say, a 1, 2 here. Okay, we do have evens in here, but we have a pung of 8s that we're really focused on. All right, let's see. I'm thinking maybe we can break up the suits a little bit here. 3, 6, let's pass. Still no keepers. So let's pass 1, 3 with a 6. We have a lot of 2, 4, 6, 8 coming in, but not in one suit. We did pick up a pair of 1s and a pair of 2s, but we're focused on 2, 4, 6, 8. So we're going to stick with it. Still no keepers. 9 with a 6. Let's do these 3. Still no keepers. Okay, so in this case, we didn't get really any keepers. Here we do have 6, 7, 8 in there, but we're picking a hand right away. Oh, here we got to do optional cross. Let's do 9 with a 2 and then maybe a 6. We still didn't get any keepers. So we didn't get a single keeper from that. Not a single one. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this in. So the post-Charleston, so we basically did evens number 1. Evens number 1, hand number 1. Okay, evens hand number 1. After the Charleston, we basically ended up with the same tiles. We didn't get any keepers there, but we have in here, let's see, 7 crack. Oh, there's a 6 dot pair. So 3, 6, 5, 3, 5 in BAMs. So we're just going to document the discards. 1, 2, 4 discards with joker bait. So, okay, 4 just, oh, doggone, what happened there? I don't know why that came up. That was weird. What? Okay, what's happening with my computer here? 4 discards with joker bait. JB, joker bait. Okay, so here we go. Let's hold the 6 dot for joker bait. So let's let the 6 or 7 crack go. All right, so we're not ready for that. We need a Kong, but we're just going to let it go. Okay, so, oh yes, and by the way, we're clearly an underdog because we have basically 6 discards or 4 discards with joker bait. We weren't ready for that flower again. Okay, so here we go. There's another joker bait for us. Okay, we're good. We can Kong the 8, but nothing much else we can do there. We're going to see if maybe we can get joker bait out of, use these 3, the 3 BAM and the 6 dot as joker bait. Oh, look at that, red and white over there. Joker's up for grabs. 3 BAM Pung. All right. Usually a Pung does not work for joker bait because our opponents probably aren't going to have enough jokers to use it. So let's keep the 8 and let the 3 go. There's our joker bait. Nobody wanted it, so we might as well let it go at this point. Nobody wanted the 6 dot. So the joker bait in this case didn't help. We're almost at 70. Let's see, we're at 74 tiles. Keep an eye on how many tiles are left. Oh, joker exchange. Nice. We can use that with the 2. All right, so now we're almost 70 tiles remaining. We're not ready for the, well, we could Kong that flower, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't expose 2 jokers with this many discards. I would rather hold the joker for the 2 where we could Kong it and Kong the 8 and then just wait for flowers. There are 3 out and we have 1. So we can use jokers for those. Here, I wouldn't risk losing my jokers at this point. I would ignore it. All right, now let's just pause for a second. We're at 69 tiles remaining. We got an extra joker. So we're going to go back to here. Oh, we did have a joker, by the way, on there. So let me add that. We have 2 jokers now. So we have joker, joker at 70 tiles. Joker, joker here. So right now we have 3, 4, or 5 discards. We have 5 discards because that's not going to be good joker bait. It already went down and nobody wanted it. So we have 5 discards. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Let's just let the 6 go. So we're looking for a 2 crack and an 8 crack. Nope. No, we're good there. We don't need any of these tiles. We picked a hand from the beginning. Remember, we're playing fixed. We're playing with a fixed style of play. Oh, we're at 60 tiles remaining. This is the very middle of the game. So if we're keeping track of where we're at here, 60 tiles remaining. We have 4 discards. We still don't have well, we have 4 discards. Really, we had picked a tile. So we're just going to bring that down to 4. We're in the same position, same situation. All right, here we go. Nope, don't need it. So somebody got the white dragon over here. No, we don't need it. We're looking for the 2 crack and the 8 crack. Oh, there's a couple jokers up for grabs. Oh, somebody won. I wish they would leave up the number of tiles remaining. This must be 50 tiles remaining. So we lost. We lost. I think it was right in between these two here. So we didn't make any headway at all. We got a joker. That's it. So that was with a fixed style of play. We stayed with it. So we tried to do evens number one. We just didn't make any headway. So now we're going to do this a little differently. We're going to play with a hybrid approach. So we're going to play adaptive during the Charleston and go with the trend. We're going to let the tiles drive the decisions. Instead of us picking a hand, we're going to wait. And after the Charleston, we're going to pick a hand then. And then we'll dig in and see what happens with a hybrid approach. What does show remaining tiles do? It's probably going to reveal the tiles left in the wall. These are the tiles left in the wall. So 50 tiles remaining. So it was at 50 tiles remaining. So it shows you the tiles left in the wall. And then that shows you your discards. So you can see the tiles in the wall and then the tiles in the discards. Okay, so let's do a new game. This time we're going to play adaptive during the Charleston. We have a pair. Yeah, it did. It did answer that question. So here we have a pair. We're going to target the multiple 4 bam, and then with the rest of our tiles, we're going to use as many of them as we can and focus on a category that uses most of our tiles. In this case, I would say probably 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're targeting the multiple, and we're going to also be able to streamline. So we're optimizing and we're streamlining. And with 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see, that uses 7 tiles. So that would be maximizing. This could potentially be a power play. Optimize, maximize, and streamline. But we'll see. Let's see what happens. I would break up the 9s and focus on 2 through 5. Probably the white dragon will not be a keeper. Okay, so there's another multiple. Anytime a multiple forms, reassess. In this case, the 9 crack will not work with a 4 bam and most of our other tiles. So I would break it up. And I would not pass 2 wins. Now, we do have an east and a west together. We could do like 3, 4, 5 or 2, 3, 4 with east and west. That would be the second hand on the right under winds and dragons, but we don't have a 2 or a 5, and that would be a gap. I'd rather use 2, 3, 4, 5 in mixed suits and streamline and maximize that opportunity to leverage that consecutive run category. So I would not play east and west. Okay, so here's a 2. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3. So we have a lot of 1 through 5. 1 through 5, which is too far. It's too long of a range. If you look at the hands in consecutive run, there are 2 lines that use 5 numbers. The first one in 1 suit, which we don't have, and the 4th hand down in mixed suits. So we could maybe do 2, 3, 4 bam with a 5 dot and a 6 crack, but we don't have a 6 crack. So I probably wouldn't focus on that too much. We could still keep all of these tiles and let the white dragon go. I typically don't pass white dragons, but in this case, I'd want to leverage number tiles. It's not going to help us with a 4 bam pair, this white dragon, at all. So I would just let it go. All right, now we have another multiple here. And here's a 4 dot. So look at where we're at this point. 1 through 5, we have 1 clear discard. So this is when you would look deeper at the hand level, because we need to continue the Charleston. I would not stop the Charleston here. We're going to keep going. because we're going to whittle out some tiles so that we can continue. So I would continue, and the east is a clear discard, and so is the 2 crack. The 2 crack is probably not going to be very helpful. It's sort of isolated. Even though we have a couple of 1s, using a 2 crack with a 3-4 bam is not going to work. So that would be another clear discard. So we only need to come up with 1 more discard. If we have a 3-4 bam pair, probably 1-2, 3-4 mixed suit, pung kong would be the best. Second hand on the right, or 6th hand down, 3-4, 3-4. Either way, we didn't use the 5 dot, and we also didn't use the 1 bam or the 2 bam, but we could maybe play 1, 2, 3, 4 in 1 suit. So we're in between the second line under consecutive run, 2 options, or the 6th hand down. So we have 3 potential hands, both with no gaps. And that is because we optimize by targeting multiples with that 4 bam and now the 3. We maximize by using most of our tiles and chose consecutive run, which also means that we streamlined. So this has become the power play. Optimize, maximize, and streamline. All right, here we go. 3 dot, there's another multiple, and we got a 4. So because of where the multiples formed, I would play the 6th hand down, 3-4, 3-4. So that means the 1, the 2, and the 6 bam can go. 1, 2 dot can go. Let's put the 3 dot over here with the 4. So we're playing 3-4, 3-4, pung kong. At the moment, we have 5 discards. Where we need to keep going though with the Charleston. We're doing the second to cross at the moment. Okay, we have 2 bam pair here, and we have tiles we can pass. So I'd go ahead and keep the 2 bam for a moment, and then pass the 1-8-7. Okay, no keepers. So here I would definitely pass 3, and I would not pass 2 wins. I'd only pass 1. So I'd pass east, south with a 2. Joker bait this early in the game is not useful. It might be exciting to think about, but we would have to get that 2 bam all the way to the middle of the middle game, which is 60 tiles remaining. We have a whole wall to get through before we can get there. And we have a pretty strong hand. We have 3 multiples and no gaps for a hand of least resistance, pung kong. So I would just break up that 2 and not worry about the Joker bait right now. That way we actually can pass fully in the optional, see if we can get another keeper. In this case, we did not get another keeper, and we do have a lot of 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would probably still keep 2, 3, 4, 5. Although we're doing the hybrid approach here where we pick a hand right after the Charleston. So the best hand to play here is going to be 3-4, 3-4, pung kong, 6th hand down under consecutive runs. So we're just going to dig in our heels. Let's document this. 3-4, 3-4, consecutive run number 6. So we're doing, oh, I forgot to write down the what we started with, but that's okay. So we did consecutive run hand number 6. And we have, I think it was 4 discards. Oops. 5 discards. So we're probably going to be an underdog here, but we have a hand with no gaps. And I'm okay with that. So let's see. We have 5 discards at the moment. 5 discards. And let's see here. Post Charleston. Oops, let's see. We put that here. I guess we didn't really pick a hand that early right here. Okay, and then here we can say 3-4, 3-4, dots and bams, pair, single, pair, pung. So we have 3-3 dot, or 3-3-4 in dots. And then we have 3-3-4, what was it? 3-3, and then a pung of 4s, 4 in bams. Oops, bams. Okay, and we have 5 discards. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna pause at 80 tiles just to kind of document how we're doing. Now there's a Kong of flowers with a pair of two jokers. That's really risky. I don't think I would do that if that were me. There's another joker up for grabs. The robots are very liberal with their uh, exposures. Okay, so the jokers are already gone. Not surprised. Okay, here we go. Nobody wanted, okay, I wanna let the wins first. We're gonna hold number tiles. Okay, here's a 4 crack. We don't need a 2. Okay, 5 bam, 3 crack. Here's a 3, 4. Wow, if we had flowers, I would be tempted to play that pair hand. Nope. Oh, 80 tiles remaining. We have 6 discards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that I wrote that incorrectly. This should be 6. So we're still in the same place at 80 tiles remaining. Oops, 3. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, that's because we picked a tile. That's why. Okay, let's let the 5 go. Okay, we'll ignore that. 8 crack. We don't need that, but I just want to fix this because we had 5. We didn't pick a tile, and this was where we did pick a tile. So we'll keep it kind of we'll normalize it at before we pick a tile. All right, so we have an extra tile in here because it's our turn. So let's say we'll let the 8. So we're at 74 tiles now. 60 tiles is the middle of the game. Okay, now here we can call, and I would, because we have a hand with no gaps. So I would dig in. So we're going to call, and now we'll discard 6. So we're zeroing in on this hand, consecutive run number 6. There's the 4. We can maybe use that for joker bait. We're at 67 tiles now. No keepers. So after this next pick, let's let that go. So in the next pick, we'll let the 4 crack go. Let's see if we can get a joker. Okay, we'll do a joker exchange for the white dragon. And now let's let the 4 crack go. This is where joker bait is ideal because we've given our opponents time to collect. This is not a guarantee though, because we don't know what they're playing on the left and the right. So it was not good joker bait this time. Okay, now there we need to Kong that. So we're not ready. We have to let it go. Oh, we're at 54 tiles remaining. We have 3 discards. So we need to, and we obtained a joker. So let's just update this. We're at right about in here. So we have a joker now, joker, and then we have 3, 3. We'll take that out there. Let's see, our 3 dot is out. We have a 4 dot. We have joker, joker. We have 3, 4 bams still. And then we have 3 discards. Okay, so here we go. Back to the game. We'll ignore that. No, we don't want that. Oh, somebody got Mahjong. Okay, so we have 3 discards. So we came a long way and 51 tiles remaining. So that was a loss. So we're going to say loss, consecutive run number 6. And that was at 50. And it was about the same place, 50 tiles remaining. And that's about, it was about the same. Okay, so now we're going to play adaptive this time. So let's start the next game. And we're going to stay adaptive the whole way. All right, now we have a red dragon pung. So that's going to be very limiting if we're going to leverage that. Let's let the 1 dot, let's see, let's let, oh, actually what we need to do here, let's see here. So we have, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do a screenshot of that instead of trying to document it like that. Hold on one second. We're just going to make it easy on ourselves. So I'm going to tighten that up there. We'll just say that's what we started with. Okay. So there's our starting hand right there. All right, so let's see what we can do. We have a 2, 3, 4, 6 with dragons. I wouldn't even pick a hand. Let's pass the east, maybe with the 9 and the, let's see here, or let's do the 1 bam here. Okay, here we go. So we have a 1 dot pair. 1 dot pair with a 3, 5. So we could maybe play odds number 5. Odds number 5, maybe. So we're going to come in here and say odds number, hand number 5, maybe. Let's see here. Odds number 5. We are missing a 3 dot. So we have a gap. Let's pass 8 with a, let's see, we have a 2, 3, 4. Let's pass the 6 and the 4. That's a little bit risky. We'll pass. We have a 3, 4 here, a 3, 4, 3, 4, but the red dragon is driving the hand right now. So I would just let these go. So we're doing 1, 3 dot, probably 3, 5 bam with a red dragon Kong. So we're going to keep going. You know, what we could maybe do is hold the 1 and the 5. So let's let the 2 and the 4 go. Okay, we got a 5 crack pair, 2, no, these are not helpful because we need opposite suits with that red dragon. Really, the red dragon is the driver. Okay, no keepers. Still no keepers. Okay, now let's just, I want to do a quick screenshot here again, so I don't have to type. Okay, let me go back in here. And this is post Charleston. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're going to ignore that. We're going to try for the, let's see, 5th hand down, but we're going to keep it flexible here. I'm going to keep all little odds just to see how the hand develops. There's a dragon, or not a dragon, a flower. So we have a lot of 1, 3, 5, and then this red dragon pung. That was kind of a strange start, but you've got to be able to leverage that strength, and that's what we have there. It's the hand we're dealt. That's where chance comes in. Another flower. Okay, so now with a pair of flowers and a pung of red dragons, we could maybe try for the 4th hand down under odds. So maybe we would mark down on here hand odds. Let's see, it would be odds 5 or number 4. So we're kind of in between. We're in between odds number 4 and 5. 3 bam. Okay, so we have 1, 5. Really, this 5 dot is not helpful. If we can get a 3 dot, we would have a really nice setup for that 5th hand down. Or no, let's see, 6th, yeah, 5th hand down. We need a pair of that 5. Now, this is an interesting tile here. We could do 2, 3 dragon now. So we could switch to consecutive run number 3 at this point. So see our number 3, maybe. So this is why playing adaptive is good, because we want to go with where the tiles, you know, the trend of the hand. So we could do 2-3 dragon. So at the moment, this 1 bam probably can go. And really the 5 crack probably can go too. It would be ideal to get a 3 dot in here. I wouldn't call that, because we're playing a hand with a gap. If we're playing the 5th hand down, we need a 3 dot and we have none. I would let it go. That there goes the 2 crack for the 3rd hand down under consecutive run. 5 dot, nope. Nope, there goes the 2 crack. I would let go of that at this point. Let's see. So let's let 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 5 can go. That would be a pair for us if we're playing the 5th hand down under odds. We don't need a 9. So we have lots of 1, 2, 3, or 1, 3, 5. There's really 2 discards so far right now. And we're at 70 tiles. So we have odds. This is 70 tiles. Little, odds, 2 discards. So we have options, is the way I would look at it. We're an underdog on this one too. Okay, so now let's let the 2 dot go here. With flowers like this, let's see, I would be tempted to switch to like numbers with 3s. There's a dragon, 2. The white dragons are all out. Otherwise, I would consider switching to a year hand. 3 crack, 3 bam, 3 crack dragons. I would let the 5th hand down go with these flowers here. 3. I would let those go. I would focus on probably like numbers with 3s. Switch completely. Oh, you know what? We can't do the hand with dragons because the white dragons are all out. So that goes away. Okay, at 55 tiles, let's let a red dragon go. Maybe we'll get jokers. No, nobody wanted them. All right. So we're switching to like numbers with 3s. There's the joker exchange right there. That's our tile. Oh, darn. Okay. Now let's take this joker and then look at what we're going to maybe try to do here. 3 dot across from us. That's, if we play like numbers, we would need 3 dots. So what I would probably do is maybe try for 1, 2, 3 mixed suit Kongs. There are 2 cracks out, which we had actually. Okay, well, let's just see how this goes. Let's see, we would have to Kong that. So we would switch to 5th hand down on the right. We're 40s, we're still in the middle game. So now we're going to switch to 5th hand down under consecutive run. So let's just go here. We're at 46 tiles now. 46, we'll just write it here. CR number 5. Okay, let's call. We're going to Kong. Even though we have a gap, if we have any hope, oh, we need to let this flower go too. Oh, and they're playing 1, 3, 3, 5, but we're going to use those 3 bams. So we're basically blocking them. They could be playing 1, 2, 3, 4 mixed suit though. 1, 2 bams and dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 3, 5 across from us. Okay, so let's pass. We can let the flower go. We only need 1 flower here. So 3 discards I forgot to put on there. We're not ready to call that. Okay, so they didn't take the 3 bam, so they must be playing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 bam, 3, 4 dot. So this 3 bam probably is not a risky tile. That now they might take that. They might even win here. We're at 32 tiles remaining. Yep, there it is. All right. So we ended up with 3 discards and a hand with a gap and a 1, 2, 3 mixed suit Kongs. We still maybe could have used Joker bait, but of course it wouldn't have worked in this case. Okay, let's play again. And let's just play without note taking. But that was kind of a rough deal with that red dragon pung. It's a little unusual, but I think we still came a good distance with that, even with the weakness that we had. So let's just see how it goes. We're going to just play adaptive now. So the west we don't need for sure. A single wind is not going to help. We have a 4 dot pair. So that's what I would target, the 4 dot pair. We have a lot of 2, 4, 6, 8 in here. Every suit is represented. 2, 4, 6, 8 of some kind. I would just stop there. We could even maybe do 4, 5, 6 consecutive run, which would be streamlining. There's a pair of 8s now. So let's pass the 9 and the 1, or the north and the 1. So we have 2, 4, 8, no 6, 2, 4 in bams. Let's let the 5 go and focus on evens. Okay, now here's a red dragon, which is really not helpful in this case. 7 bam can go. We have a 2, 4, 8, a 2, 4, and a 6. Let's see here. 2, 4. I wouldn't pass like numbers, so I would let something go. Let's let the 2 bam go. Okay, still no keepers here. Maybe we'll be able to go get the red dragon and play 2, 8 dragons, second hand from the bottom. Okay, now here we have 5s. Like numbers with 5s, I'd give up on this green dragon. It is not helpful. Okay, so we have 3 red east. These are not at all helpful. There's an 8 crack. We finally got a keeper there. Okay, 3 tiles to pass. Let's just let these go. That's a little bit risky. There is some potential here, though, to streamline. 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's let the 4 go. 7, 8, 9. All right, I think what I would do here, because we have no 6 dot, that would be a gap. Let's see, 8, 9, 6. Let's let the 6 crack go. We might still be able to switch to 7, 8, 9 of some kind. There's a 7 bam. All right, so we have a 2, 4, 6, 8 hand maybe, but we also have potential for 7, 8, 9. And I'd say that we have 2 discards, but options. So I'd say we're going to be an underdog because we really don't know yet what category we're playing. There's a 2 dot now. I would go for a gap hand with that pair now. Maybe this can help us with our 6 dot. So now we have a hand with a gap, but we've got jokers, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 1 suit. Second hand down, we have 5 discards, so we're still an underdog, even though we know what hand we're playing. But at least we know what category we're in. Okay, now there's a pair of 7s. We have 7, 8, 9 now here. Let's just keep it and see what happens. So we're in between 2, 4, 6, 8, and 7, 8, 9. A 3 dot. Now we have 2 through 9. Look at all the 1 suit we have here. I wouldn't play a pair hand with 2 jokers. I wouldn't throw away 2 jokers for a pair hand. I would try to find a way to leverage them. We're in between 2, 4, 6, 8, and 7, 8, 9. Nope, we don't need that at all. Okay, and I would not call because we have a gap. I would wait. I would let it go. Still don't have a keeper there. We need a 6 dot in here either way. If we do get a 6 dot, I'd probably play 2, 4, 6, 8. There's a 5 now. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. And look at, we have all dots now. 2, 3, 4, 5. Second hand down on the left has no gaps. Four, one. There's a joker up for grabs. 9 crack. Nope, I'd let it go. Okay, 3 dot. 2, 3, 4, 5. I would focus on 2, 3, 4, 5, Pung Kong. That uses the multiples and there's no gaps. 7, 8, 9 had gaps and 2, 4, 6, 8 had a gap, no 6. So we're going to play 2, 3, 4, 5, Pung Kong, Pung Kong. Okay, nobody wanted the 7. Here's a 1. Now we could maybe play the first hand, but I wouldn't commit at this point at all because we would need a pair of 1s and a pair of 5s, and we have singles there. Those would be weaknesses. So I would not pick that hand at the moment. We're gonna now we have to make a choice. I would go ahead and pung, because either way we can do 2, 3, 4, 5, pung kong, or if we happen to draw a 1 or a 5, we can maybe play the first hand, which also uses a pung. So I would call for a pung. And then we'll let the 7 go. And I'd say at 55 tiles, we have a hand with no gaps. Pung kong. Technically, we have joker bait here, but we do have some potential for the first hand, and none of those are out. I would say we've bumped up to contender at this point. 3 dot. Okay, let's let the 8, oops, 8 dot. Oops, what am I doing? Ignore. That's out. Oops. Oh, we don't need that. We're at 48 tiles remaining. No. Oh, we don't need that either. I would probably play 2, 3, 4, 5 here because of the weakness with the 1 and the 5. We got a joker. So this 1 dot goes away. All right. We're ready to win. Ready to win on a 3 dot or a 5 dot. 29 tiles remaining. No. All right. Come on now. Ooh, 2 crack across from us. Are they playing a year hand? If they are, they're going to have a hard time. There are 3 white dragons out. They may be doing 2, 3, 2, 3 over there. 2, 3, 2, 3 probably. Uh-oh. North. This is going to be risky, but I would do it. The reason I felt okay about it, even though it's super risky, is because they're playing north and south with dragons. But look at all the dragons that are out. All the white dragons are out and 2 red dragons are out. So I was banking that they're not ready because of the dragons are all out. Plus they don't have their north. One crack. Okay, come on now. Uh-oh. Somebody switched to defense. There, let's see. 2, that's a pung for us. We need a 3 dot or a 5 dot. We got it. Mahjong. We got Mahjong. Woohoo! Oh my goodness. was a tough day so far. Yikes. Okay. We're probably going to be able to play a couple more hands. So that was an interesting hand because we were primarily, let's see here. Now I'm trying to remember. We didn't document it. I think we were in consecutive run most of the way, but we were, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I don't remember. I'd have to rewatch it to figure out where we went to and from. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even remember. That's a blur for me. Let's just play again. I don't remember the progression of that hand. It was a wild ride. I think it was a wild ride. Okay, so anyway, let's work with the 9 bam. Now we do have a pair of souths, but without a north, it's not going to be helpful. We've got a lot of 7 here, 7, 9. So maybe big odds, but we don't have 5s. So I would probably keep the 6 and focus on 6 through 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, just for an option. And I probably would keep the south just to see if winds come in, because we do have tiles we can pass here. Now we have a 3 crack there. We could maybe keep the 3 and let the dragon go, because if we get more 6s, we might be able to switch to a 3, 6, 9 hand. So we're kind of in between big odds and really 3, 6, 9 at the moment. If we get 5s, we might be able to play 5, 7, 9 big odds. All right, so there's an 8. So there's some streamline potential in here now. I would give up on 3, 6, 9. And I'd also break up that south and focus on number tiles, which are far more flexible. So 5 through 9 is what we're looking at. We're leveraging the 9 bam. That's the driver right there. Okay, 9 dot. So we'll keep it. Let's pass south with a 3 and a 2. It's a little bit risky there. Let's see here. 5, 6, 9, 7, 8, 9, 7, 9. Just trying to look and see if we can make this better. We have a 7, 9, but really not a usable 5, 7 for big odds. 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 9. We have all the 9s and a white dragon, but no flowers. I think I would let the 7 go and make this a little bit better instead of passing the 2. Okay, so there's a 6. We have tiles we can pass right here. Now, we gave this player a wind already, so let's not do it again. Let's not give that to them again. We have 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 9. Let's see, 9 bam pair. Let's let the 5 dot go. I'm thinking 6, 7, 8, 9 of some kind. I wouldn't pick a hand. There's a 7 crack pair now. So let's pass the east, a dragon, and now we need to pick something. I would not pass 2 winds, and I would not pass two dragons either. So we could do 6, 7, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. Let's see, 6 dot can go probably. Okay, now look at the dragons. Oh my goodness. Not helpful to us though. Oh, there's 6 through 9 with a dragon. Oh my gosh, these the winds and dragons, yikes. All right, now let's see. We have 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a 9. All right, let's see. So if we had flowers, I would play 7, 8, 9, 9, 6, second hand from the bottom, but we have no flowers. Let's see. It seems nobody wants the winds. We could maybe pass one of them, and then maybe with a dragon. I'd probably keep the red dragon in case we get flowers. We could maybe try for the concealed consecutive hand. So I would probably let the 8 dot go so we can pass fully. So we have, wait, hold the phone. Maybe we could do 5 cracks, 6, 7, 8 dot Kong with a 9 bam Kong. Fourth hand down. Fourth hand down. So let's see here. Let's let the 9 crack go. We could still maybe do 7-8 dragon or 6-7 dragon. Okay, so we have joker bait. We'll just keep that 6. Joker bait with the south. And then we have 1, 2, probably 3 clear discards and some consecutive hand. And I wouldn't pick a hand, but I'd say we're an underdog. Let's let the 2 go. So we're going to do some form of 6, 7, 8, 9. We're just not going to pick a hand. We're going to gather. So we're in gather mode. Okay, south went down and nobody wanted it, so I'd let it go now. If joker bait doesn't pan out, let it go. So we can let that go. I would just keep this for a while. 6, 7, 8, 9 is what we're focused on. And we're just going to gather until we run out of discards. There's a couple of jokers available there. Okay, there's a 7. So now we have lots of 6, 7, 8, 9 in here. Oh yeah, we don't want wins. No, I wouldn't. We could call it, but we don't even know what hand we're playing yet. We could maybe do 6, 7, 6, 7, but I'd like to try to leverage this 9 bam. 7, 8. Let's see, 6, 7, 8. I'd love to get an 8 bam. We could do 6, 7, 8, 9 pung kong and leverage that multiple. So I would not call that. So that 6 dot probably is going to be a discard for us because there's already 2 out. 7 bam. All right, we'll keep it for a bit. I know that there's this urge inside to pick a hand, but you really don't have to pick a hand till you run out of discards, and we have discards. Some kind of 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, oh, sorry, 9 bam went out, but we don't even know what hand we're playing yet. I would not. And there goes our other potential needed tile. It's a gap for us. 6, 7, 8, 9 pung kong. We can't do anything there. Okay, 8 dot. So I would just tuck everything in and reassess. All right, so we could let this red dragon go. We don't need that. We have all 6 through 9 now. So I would just look in here and see what could we potentially play. And I would look at all the multiples. We have 7, 8, 9 mixed Kong potential, but no flowers. 7, 8, 9. Now, if we take the 8, we might be able to play 7, 8, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9 mixed Kongs if we can get a pair of flowers. So because we have 7, 8, 7, 8 with no gaps, and that would be a Kong for us, I'd call it for Kong. Because we can use an 8 dot Kong with either 7, 8, 9 mixed Kongs, fifth hand down on the right, or 7, 8, 7, 8, and we have no gaps for that too. So let's let the 9 dot go. So we have 2 hands, one with a gap, one without. So maybe 7, 8, 7, 8 or flowers is what we would need. 8 bam. We really don't need that. It looks good though. Look at all the 6, 7, 8, 9 we have. We still don't have a flower. If we get a flower, oh, 7, 8, 7, 8. That's what I would focus on. So this I will let go of now. 7, 8, 7, 8, pung kong, pung kong. 7 bam. Okay, let's let the 9 bam go. Too bad we didn't get flowers early on. We could maybe have tried 7, 8 pair hand. Oh, that's our tile. So we'll need a joker for that. There's a keeper. One of the nice things about this kind of a hand, pung kong, two punks, two kongs, you can use jokers. Even if your tiles go down, if you can get jokers, you can still make it work. We're at 26 tiles. We probably should let this 7 bam go. It's not out yet. If they're playing 4, 5, 6, 7 on the left, they might use this with a joker. No. Maybe they're playing 4, 5, 4, 5. A dot. Exchanging our own. We need, oh, we kind of need that now. We need to call that for a Kong. Okay, we're one away from ready. One away from ready. We need a 7 dot or a joker. North. 11 tiles left. Okay. 6 tiles left. Red dragon. It's out. Oh goodness. Oh my gosh, look. We got to a ready place. Ready to win. Ready to win on a 7 dot. It's over here. They're playing a messy hand over there. All right, let's squeeze in one more. We came a long way on that one. Okay, here we go. Let's see. We have a pair of flowers, and then the rest is a widespread. So this is where I look for any single Windsor dragons can go. So you can kind of just piecemeal your first pass, and then I look for like number potential, because they're really, the predominant pattern here is going to be 3, 4, 5, but we do have some like number potential. Here's threes, and then we have eights. So I'd probably hold the eights, but I would probably also focus on 3, 4, 5 to streamline. And then that leaves us with ones and a 7. We do have some like numbers with ones though there. 3, 4, 5, 1 suit Kongs. Or mixed suit Kongs. 3 bam, 4 dot, 5 crack. Okay, so let's let the 8 go and keep the ones. We could play maybe little odds in there. Okay, 4 crack. All right, we have a north. Let's let the 8 go. Now we have to pick something. So we need one tile. We have little odd potential or 3, 4, 5, 6. I would streamline. Here's 3, 4, 5. Pair of flowers. Let's let the 1 crack go. Okay, we have a 2 bam in here. Green dragon. We don't have any multiples in here yet. Let's let the 1 dot go with a 6. And then let's still focus on these number tiles. Okay, here we go. Okay, where are we? Oh, here's a 4 bam. We got 2 big numbers and then little numbers. All right, now we need to let something go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 in bams, 3, 4, 5 in cracks. This 4 dot, really it's our only like number potential there. 4 dot, 4 crack, 4 bam. Let's let the 1 go. So we're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 of some kind or like numbers with 4s. Okay, so we picked up a 1 and a 2. Really not helpful though, because we're focused on either 2, 3, 4, 5 or like numbers with 4s. We have a 3 and a 1. Oh my goodness. Okay, 3, 4. What about, now here, Wes, I would consider the 3, 4 pair hand. 3, 4 pair hand. I would throw away 1 joker, but not 2. Let's let the 5 crack go. Oh my gosh, still no. Let's see, 2, 3. 1 through 4, sevens, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4. Let's pass 2 and let the like number potential go, because we could maybe play the second hand from the bottom. We could do 1, 2 bam with 3s punged. We could do 2, 3 bam with 4s punged. No gaps. Second hand from the bottom. So let's pass 2. I typically don't pass like numbers. Okay, now why is that? Okay, now here, that's the first 3 dot, and we would need to pung for that second hand from the bottom. So I would let it go just to see, because we do have options. We have 3 discards and a hand with options. So I would say, because of the weakness with the pairs, pair, 1, 2, or 2, 3, I would say we're probably an underdog, because we have weaknesses and options, but no gaps. So I'd say we're probably an underdog on this one. So that just means we need to take low risk approach. Okay, 5 dot. Well, we might be able to do something there. We have 1 through 5 here. It's too wide of a range. We could do 3, 4, 5 mixed suit Kongs, though. We could also do 2, 3, 4 mixed suit Kongs. We have a lot of options with consecutive run here. Oh, look, dragon. We could do 1, 2, or 2, 3 dragon. We're going to let that go. Joker exchange. Thank you. Okay, now I'd probably let that dragon go. Focus on number tiles. We're really just waiting for a multiple in the number tiles to drive the hand, really. Well, there's a flower. So I would commit to that second hand from the bottom. We really don't need that 5. We need singles. Look at the 2 bam. That's our tile, but we can't call it. Three dot. Oh my goodness. We finally have a multiple in there. We have 3 flowers, 3 dot pair. We could maybe consider the quint. We're not committed to anything yet. Let's let the 4 dot go next, because we could do 1, 2, 3, 3. If we can get a pair of either the 1 or the 2 in here, or we could maybe try for that quint. Since we have a multiple now with the 3 dot, we can use the 2 bam or the 4 crack. Five crack. That's really not helpful though. Okay, 3 dot. Okay. This is where I would be thinking about maybe playing the quint because of these singles that are super weak. We have a 2 bam out, but I would wait just a little. If this tile goes down, that's when we have to decide. Now we have a 1 bam and a 2 bam out. There's a 3 dot out already too, by the way, right here. So we would have to dedicate that joker to the 3 dot for the quint. Oh no, there's the other 2 bam. You know what we could do is play like numbers with 3s. 2 dot. Let's let this 4 crack go. That's okay. So now that 6 hand down is gone because all 3 are out. 2 bam. I would switch to like numbers with 3s here. I wonder if we could switch to a year hand though. 1 white dragon is out. 2 bam is out. Like numbers with 3s. I think I would just focus on like numbers with 3s. Oh, white dragon popped in. Okay. Maybe we could switch to a year hand of some kind. They're all the two BAMs are out, so we would need to use a 2 crack here. So 2 crack, and then 2 BAM with these jokers for the second hand down under the year. Yeah, we can't call that unless we switch to 2-3 dragon. 2 dot, we need to Kong, we need a joker there for the 3. We have an extra flower and we need more white dragons. So it's either this 2-3 dragon, third hand down, or like numbers with 3s. I don't see any 3s out other than that 3 dot. Let's let it go. 2 crack. Okay, now, here we go. Let's do this. Year hand. 2 0 2 3 2 BAM Kong with a 3. We need 1 more joker in here. Okay, so second hand down. So it's 50 tiles remaining. We have time. We might be able to make this work. We have an extra flower. Okay, let's let the flower go. We only need a pair. All right, so we need to Kong the 2 BAM, and we need a joker for the 3 dot because it's out. And then, of course, we need the 2 crack single. Oh, we don't need that. All right, here we go. Uh-oh, that's our tile. Flower. A white dragon. We got a white dragon. Let's see here. 3 BAM. 2 dot. We already let go of now. We don't really need that. I was thinking maybe we could switch to the first hand, but no, the 2s are already out. So we have 2 discards. We need that 2 crack in here badly. Oh no! There's only 1 more 2 crack. Oh, let's let that go. Oh my gosh, look. Wow, look at like numbers popped in. Okay, now with that 2 crack weakness, maybe I should have kept that. No, the dragons are all going down. I'm just wondering if we should switch to like numbers with 3s. Let's see, how many 3 cracks are out? I see 1. All right, let's just keep going. The 2 crack is going to be the kicker. We could still play like we could still play the year hand if we can get that. Oh darn, somebody got it. I was thinking maybe we could still play the year hand with the 2, but it was getting super tight. All right, that is going to do it for this live stream. Oh, that really kept me on my toes. These robots at I Love Mahj, they smart cookies. Yes, they are. We got a win in. I'm glad. We had a lot of learning opportunities there. So if you want to practice making decisions, try I Love Mahj. Use MAHJLIFE in the promo code to get an extra week free in the trial. Well, the trial is free. You just get an extra week if you use MAHJLIFE. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. We'll be back again at 4 o'clock for another segment, Nitty-Gritty Prime Time. And the topic, let me get my mouse going here. Here, let me just bring this in here and show you. All right, here we go. So here we are, Joker tactics. So even if you're a beginner, Joker tactics, we're going to cover playing with jokers. And there are a few tactics that you might enjoy learning about if you haven't already heard about joker bait and things like that. So join us at 4 p.m. for another segment of Nitty-Gritty Let's Play live stream. Moderators, thank you for being here. We'll see you again in about an hour if you're available. And if nobody has any questions, I'll go ahead and sign off. Oh, you know what? Let me just say really quick here. We have a new, let's see, we have a new channel member, Eleanor. Thank you so much for joining the MAHJLIFE Obsessed tier. I appreciate that. And all Obsessed members, channel members, subscribers. Thank you. All right, I'll go ahead and sign off, and we'll see you again in an hour. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Click the little gray bell if you do. That way you'll get notification for when I post new videos, and you won't miss an opportunity to learn a new strategy or pick up an insight to the game that could give you an advantage at the table. Between now and the next video, may all your picks be keepers.